Good day. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
I'm great, thank you. So, I hear you're interested in learning how to memorize advanced vocabulary. That's a fantastic goal. Where would you like to start?
Yes, I've been struggling to remember complex words, especially when I'm reading academic texts. Do you have any tips on how to memorize advanced vocabulary effectively?
Absolutely. First and foremost, make sure you're building a strong foundation. Start by expanding your basic vocabulary. This will give you a solid base to work from. Read extensively and try to understand the context in which words are used. What kind of reading do you currently engage in?
I read a variety of materials, but I guess I need to pay more attention to context. What else can I do to enhance my vocabulary?
Context is crucial, so you're on the right track. Another effective method is creating associations when you encounter a new word. Try to relate it to something familiar to you. This could be a personal experience, an image, or even a sound. Associating the word with something you already know can make it easier to remember.
That sounds interesting. I'll give it a try. But what about those really long and complex words? They seem impossible to remember.
The longer words can be intimidating, but breaking them down into smaller parts can help. Learn the prefixes, roots, and suffixes. Understanding the components of a word can give you valuable clues about its meaning. Also, try to use the words in sentences. It reinforces your understanding and helps commit them to memory.
Breaking down words makes sense. I'll start doing that. How about using flashcards? Do you think that would be helpful?
Absolutely, flashcards can be a powerful tool. Write the word on one side and the definition on the other. Test yourself regularly. And you'll be surprised at how quickly you can recall the information. Consistency is key here.
Good idea. I'll create some flashcards tonight. One last thing. Do you have any recommendations for apps or online resources that can help with vocabulary building?
Certainly, there are several great apps like Quizlet, Anki, and Memrise. They offer interactive ways to learn and remember words. Find one that suits your learning style and incorporate it into your routine.
Thank you so much for your advice. I'm determined to improve my vocabulary, and your advice has been invaluable. I'm curious though, how do you personally approach learning new words and expanding your own vocabulary?
Great question. As an educator, I often come across new words while preparing lessons and reading educational materials. I find it helpful to create a word journal. Whenever I encounter a word that intrigues me, I note it down along with its definition and context. This way, I can revisit and reinforce my understanding over time.
A word journal sounds like a fantastic idea. I'll definitely give that a try. How do you suggest incorporating these newly learned words into daily conversation without sounding forced or unnatural?
Excellent point. It's crucial to integrate the words gradually. Start by using them in writing, perhaps in emails or essays, where you have more time to choose your words thoughtfully. As you become more comfortable, try slipping them into casual conversations. The key is to be genuine and use words that feel natural in the given context.
That makes sense. I'll work on incorporating them organically. Speaking of which, are there any particular genres or types of literature you recommend for someone looking to enhance their vocabulary?
Diversify your reading materials, explore different genres. From classic literature to contemporary fiction, scientific articles, and even poetry, each genre exposes you to a unique set of vocabulary. The more varied your reading, the more diverse your vocabulary will become.
I'll broaden my reading horizons then. And what about word games or puzzles? Do you think they're effective for vocabulary building?
Absolutely, word games and puzzles like crosswords or Scrabble can be both enjoyable and beneficial. They challenge your mind and reinforce the connections between words. Plus, they add an element of fun to the learning process.
I'll incorporate some word games into my routine. One last thing, how do you stay motivated when faced with the sheer volume of words to learn?
Motivation can be a challenge, but setting realistic goals and celebrating small victories can help. Break down your learning into manageable chunks and acknowledge your progress along the way. Also, find joy in the process of discovering new words and the doors they open to deeper understanding.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights. I feel more confident about tackling advanced vocabulary now.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could assist you. Remember, learning is a lifelong journey and you're on the right path. Feel free to return anytime you have more questions or just want to discuss your progress.
I appreciate that, and I'll definitely stay in touch. Thanks again for your time and support.